Hi, everybody. So I'd like to respond to one of the comments that came up on my video, and it was somebody saying that people who work 10, 12-hour shifts, how can they be human? And that is a very good point, and it got me thinking actually to why I'm even doing this. Because why I got into breathwork is actually a circuitous journey. I'm just going to skip the details. I want to discover how we can make ourselves more whole and use more of our humanity to improve life for ourselves and everybody else. Because I believe that we are in a place where we are now supposed to self-actualize. We are supposed to take this situation that we have, and I'm talking about prosperous Western countries that have shelter, have food, and have the hierarchy of needs taken care of, and work towards making that whole pyramid, all of those needs, making them a reality, refining them. Because what is human? This is the question that I think is actually quite difficult to ask, and that's why I think we don't actually ask it and don't self-analyze, because it's a huge question. And when you are in the face of having a job that requires a lot from you, then of course you don't have time to go to yoga. You don't have time to meditate for half an hour. And so all of this idealism about the spiritual life, where you look at others that are broadcasting on Instagram this spiritual life, it seems perfect. And we have to remember that that, of course, is a frail image that they're showing off, and perfection isn't attainable, but that's kind of the society we live in. I understand why it would be regarded as impossible to be human, or even why it would be a challenge to even ask that question. Because I think asking that question makes us look at our lives, at least we are habituated to look at our lives and not be satisfied. I think that's a function of the human mind. We're supposed to see flaws in ourselves, but I think we are supposed to use this mind, this forebrain, and advance ourselves, move ourselves forward in life, and find out ways to solve those problems. Because what is our species if not a creator? What are you if not a creator? You're creating a life. You're creating systems and habits and ways of being that are going to carry on in the ripples of the relationships of the people that you meet. And though we might not recognize what the meaning of life is, or what even being human is, we can objectively say that that's our unique ability. No other creature can create. Sure, some bowerbirds can make beautiful nests. Sure, some monkeys have been shown to use tools to actually hunt, but we are the only ones that create out of reason. Okay, we've got that. But the reason that we apply that to make this creativity, to put this creativity forward. And I said it in my video about what it is, why inspiration is necessary. It's part of this argument to be more human. Because what I'm trying to do, let's see here. I want to bring myself more in line with my humanity. I want to use more of myself to advance my life, improve it, and self-actualize ultimately. I see that there's a lot of pain in the world, and I've, over the course of my life, been enthralled by these tools that we seem to have latently as people. And often they've been taking the form of yoga, and they've been taking this shroud of spirituality and making it seem like that's the only way to be human, or that's the optimal human state. I want to focus on not looking for the optimal, but using the human being, that humanity, that ability to change and transform, and making that a tool that we use throughout everything we do. You see, it seems like self-improvement is like this spiritual awakening where we self-actualize. Because we realize that we have all of these gifts, but yet we seem to have so many problems. So we look for ways to solve them. But being human, when we look at that, I believe it solves, for me, it solved so many problems along the way. Because I saw that, yes, okay, we can breathe a certain way and attain a certain result. So what does that mean about us? Well, for me, it means that we can actually use a tool that we have inside of ourselves and change our state to be more effective in our families, in our jobs, and these 12-hour shifts that we have. So why I want to talk about being more human and what I want to achieve is I believe that we have a problem as a species in this modern world, and we're just trying to figure it out. The issue is that we are supplementing our humanity for this world that seems to demand so much of us to create and spin the wheels of industry. And we're not satisfied by that, but we don't really have an answer for that. So if I can be really cogent about this, I would say that we are looking for a way to feel more whole. Oh, that is a lot. You see, I'm figuring this all out myself, and I'm discovering why I'm doing this. One of the things we supplement for this modern life is our intuition. And that is a magical, I want to use as many, as few mystical words as possible, because I think the fact that we have an intuition, that's just a part of who we are. So we have to use it. Why would we have it if we weren't meant to use it? And I know that myself, when I've used my intuition, it's been absolutely fundamental in transforming my life in every step of the way. But when we are in a panicked state, when we're rushing, and we're in this chronic state of stress, we're not using our intuition. We're not using it. What we're doing is we are putting more emphasis on this newly developed forebrain to make the decisions for us, and we lose out on that feminine, receptive side of ourselves that nature gives us. And there's been a pushback so much from that forebrain because it's gotten us to this over mechanized industrial life that we feel like we have to completely tear away from that. But that's not the case. I believe that we can use our intuition in our daily lives and say, okay, this job isn't for me. It's not serving me. What can I do? I need to get out. I'm not gonna reach the end of my life feeling okay about this, and that's seething inside me. We don't ask those questions oftentimes because we feel like there's no answer. But I feel that there are answers all along the way, and we need to start speaking up about those answers. One of those, I think, is using the intuition and melding that with the forebrain that we have, the logical with the spiritual, the elements of ourselves that put together make a right and a left brain. A resting, digesting, and an active force that's put forward. I'll tell you a story. I used to be in acting, and I was so emotional, and I loved it because it just felt good. Your emotions feel good to release. And yes, that's true. But further on down the line, I had a huge breakup that shattered my life because I was doing everything for this girl. I was feeling like I was really, fulfilling this Disney idea of a prince. Like, I'm going to do everything for you. I'm going to do everything for you. I got you. Don't you worry. I'm going to save you. I will supplement myself for you. But I wasn't whole myself. I wasn't at all the man that I could be because I wasn't touching into my masculine side. And I know that's a hot topic right now, but let's face it, we need to be strong as people. We need both sides. They exist. My testosterone, now that I've accessed it and I use it effectively as much as I can without being perfect, now that I have that melding of the two sides, the emotional and the logical and the masculine and the feminine, I'm bringing those two more and more together, I'm finding my life completely transformed. Like, you wouldn't even believe just the well-being that I experience and the ability that I have to change my life and move forward, the confidence that I feel even in the face of risk. And even if I'm not confident, the ability to move through that and not push it away, but keep pursuing, keep persevering. It's magical because I'm using my intuition to tell myself, okay, something doesn't feel right about this, and I take action with the forebrain. Story over. Logic is necessary to put this intuition into play and do something with it. But to do that, we have to get out of our panicked mode, our panicked frame of thoughts, our constant anxiety, and the chronic tension that so many of us experience so much of the day. We drive in our cars, we eat high fructose corn syrup, we don't generally eat many good foods, we're hopped up on coffee, we're not sleeping well. All of these things are stressing us chronically and just deteriorating our health. And so from that place, how can we make creative decisions to move ourselves forward? And the best answer that I can think of is this: I don't understand your situation, and God bless you, and may all the prosperity come your way that you can possibly have in your life. May it just keep compounding, and may you have the strength to move forward and move past this and keep supporting yourself and the people that you love. The fact of the matter is, we need you. The fact of the matter is, unfortunately, we don't live in a very human world because we only prioritize that front forebrain. And we need to take steps, not expect a perfect situation to come out. We need to take steps slowly towards that. And I think the best way, the first thing we can do is start to mitigate that stress, start to put ourselves back more and more into a balanced state of being so that we can use that intuition. We can lessen that pressure. We can apply our strength, the active side of ourselves, to those messages that we get, to those intuitions, those impulses, those things that tell us they're not right, and then be able to question them, be able to vacillate between the two. And that is, I think, the process of living in this world. That is our challenge, to figure out how to do this. Because I honestly, I've been there, and it sucks to feel like you have no way out. But the fact is, you're a human, and you can create paths for yourself. And that is what I want us to start talking about more. The fact that we're human and we can just be completely defining our own path through our thoughts and our actions, but letting our thoughts formulate the bedrock upon which to build those actions. That's like generations and generations and millions of years of the evolution of a species. Although I'm not an archaeologist and I don't know how we evolved, and I don't know if maybe that's a good time frame. See Graham Hancock, maybe he has some head-scratching ideas that I might look into further and you might enjoy as well. Fact of the matter is, we all struggle. Through my struggles, I found that the best way to do it is to access more of both sides of myself. And the more I find that the simplest thing I've done is have an active relationship with my breath and breathing in a way that's healthy for me, in a way that supports my holistic thought pattern. One that allows the stress to diminish and allows the intuition to have space to flourish. So if I could tell you one thing, begin by de-stressing yourself. Create the habit of breathing slowly, not rushing. Stand with your knees unlocked, because then that frees up your lower solar plexus area so that there's not a strain on your lower back, so you're more fluid, you're more capable, you're less at risk of harming yourself. But overall, breathe slower. 5-second inhales, 5-second exhales is optimal. If you start to lengthen the inhales and exhales that you have by any amount, you have to be aware of it, but then recognize that you might just be feeling a little less stressed. And know that you're on a journey. It's not going to be solved right away. So I don't have all the answers. This is just the first thing that came up to my mind. And I'm happy this question was asked. So I love you. Be well. All the best. Ciao. Don't forget to